Hi everyone, my name is Alex Woodside and I'm here to give you some tips and tricks to help you prepare for the NSBA 8th grade All-State Percussion Audition. In this video, I'll be covering some general ideas for preparing for the Mallet portion of the audition. If you find this video helpful, make sure to check out the other videos in this series as you prepare for the different sections of the audition. Let's start with some recommendations about the equipment you'll want to use when practicing and recording this audition. You're going to want to use the best marimba or xylophone that you have access to. You can use a set of bells if that's all you have, but the fast notes in this audition can get muddled and messy with a ringing instrument like the bells. A more articulate instrument like the marimba or xylophone will help demonstrate your musicality and your mastery of the techniques involved in this portion of the audition. For my recording today, I'm going to be using a marimba, but again, marimba and xylophone are going to be your best options. The mallets you'll want to use when recording this audition will depend on what instrument you choose to use. In general, you're going to want to find a hard, articulate mallet that will help you create a good tone in all registers of the instrument. If you're playing on a xylophone, the innovative Percussion IP-OS2s or Vic Firth's M133s are great mallets for this purpose. If you're playing on a marimba like I am, innovative Percussion's IP-3106Bs or the Vic Firth M183s or M184s will work great. The mallets I'm using today for this audition are actually Marimba 1 Wave Wrap WWB3s. But again, as long as you find a good mallet that creates a good tone all the way through the instrument, you'll be in great shape. One more recommendation about equipment that may help when preparing the mallet portion of your audition is to make sure that the instrument is at the right height for you. If your instrument has a height adjustment function, try to get the keyboard to be about waist high or maybe a little bit below. This will help you keep your wrists low to the keyboard when playing and help you create the best possible tone without having to strain your wrists. If your instrument doesn't have a height adjustment crank, you can use a trailer jack or wood blocks to raise it to the correct height. I'll post some links to some creative solutions down in the video description below. When we talk about mallet technique, we need to start by talking about our stance. The way you position your body in front of the instrument will either make it harder or easier for you to move around the keyboard, and we want to make sure we're setting ourselves up to be successful. Start by putting your hips square to the instrument so that both arms can easily reach both the natural keys and the accidental keys. Next, stand with your feet about shoulder width apart or maybe even a little bit wider so that you have a strong, balanced stance. As you move around the instrument, you may need to do a small shuffle step side to side to keep your hips square to the instrument. This stance is going to help you do that. Also, we need to position our wrists to be at the same height as the instrument when we strike the keyboard. That's going to help us produce the best possible tone with the shape of the mallet that we have. Next, let's talk about the grip we use when playing mallet instruments. We want to use the same basic grip as we would when playing the snare drum, but I like to put the fulcrum about halfway up the mallet shaft because the mallets are so front heavy. Make sure you maintain a good fulcrum between the thumb and the first knuckle of the pointer finger while playing. The mallet shaft should also rest gently across the middle of your palm so that your hands have complete control over the mallets. Keep in mind that we still need to hold the mallets with as little tension as possible so we don't restrict any of the motion in the wrist. We should still be able to pull the mallet out of each hand easily with little resistance when we play. Another element of our technique that has a big impact on our musicality is our playing spot. If we hit the bars of the keyboard right in the middle above the rails holding the resonators up, we get a full, rich tone like this. However, if we hit the bars of the keyboard above the strings connecting them to the other bars, the tone becomes thin and weak like this. Pay special attention to your playing spot anytime you play a flat or sharp note, since the correct playing spot for these notes is further away, and we have to convince our arms to move further away from our bodies to get there, like this. The types of motion that we use when playing mallet percussion instruments also has a big impact on our quality of sound. Most of the time, we want to use something called a piston stroke. This means that we need to start with our wrist back and the head of the mallet directly above the note that we're about to play. We then use our wrist to throw the mallet head straight down into the bar and then bring it right back up to its original position. This will help create the best possible sound on the instrument without forcing us to waste any energy. In real time, it looks like this. As we move from note to note with our mallets, we want to think about moving in an arc-shaped motion so that we can move as efficiently as possible between notes. That looks like this with one hand. Think about creating little rainbows from note to note with your mallet head to create that efficient, smooth motion. Thank you for watching and for taking another step toward mastering the mallet portion of the NSBA 8th grade All-State Percussion Audition. Please make sure to check out the other videos in this series for more detailed information about the different parts of the mallet audition and the other sections of the percussion audition.